Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Wednesday news show, the show where we scour the climbing media, get tips, go to dodgy dealings in alleyways, all to bring you the latest and greatest in the world of climbing. So we're going to get straight into the action because at the weekend was another IFSC Bouldering World Cup, this time in America, in Colorado, in Vail. After the last World Cup in Japan, the athletes only had 4 days of travel to get to Vail, coping with the time difference and having to get used to the altitude of over 2,500 meters. It was going to be a tough final. In the women's comp, Akio Noguchi was coming off the back of 3 World Cup bouldering victories, and the pressure was on to see if she could get a 4th. Unfortunately, the boulders in the finals weren't quite her style, but it's a testament to her current form that she managed to get 3rd place. Miho Nanaka has consistently been on the podium all season and has had a record of 2nd place finishes in Vail. 2 tops for Miho in the final meant it was yet another 2nd for her, which puts her into 1st place overall in the championship standings. America's Alex Puccio has had a series of serious injuries that has taken her away from the World Cup scene in recent years. You would be excused in thinking she might struggle on her comeback, but she demonstrated a dominant performance. She topped 3 boulders to take her 2nd ever IFSC gold medal. In the men's comp, Tomoa Narasaki is pushing hard to take the overall lead from Jernej Kruder. He topped out 2 boulders, which was enough for the bronze medal, but he only missed out on 2nd place due to the number of tries. Home crowd favourite Sean Bailey has never been on a World Cup podium before and was delighted to get a silver medal. In fact, he almost got a gold before he slipped on the final hold of problem 4. An amazing weekend for Sean. Rai Sugimoto last won a World Cup in 2013, but he was on fire this weekend. He topped 3 problems in the final, including the half wooden dual textured holes of Boulder 3. A gold medal for Rai. So a few talking points from this weekend, and we've got to talk about this altitude thing, because Japan is quite low down and then Vail is 2,500 meters. Like, I go climbing at 2,500 meters here in Chamonix and it is absolutely exhausting. It's exhausting if you haven't acclimatized, and these guys had 4 days to get on a plane, travel all the way over, and it's just not really enough time to get that into your system. So amazing performance from the athletes to cope with that. And the 4 days as well, that is a tight time limit, and you could see it. Like Jernej Kruder in the finals, he looked a little bit tired. Didn't matter that much, but you could just see a little bit of fatigue coming in. And perhaps that's why some of the American guys, so Sam Bailey and Alex Puccio, who didn't travel, maybe they were a bit more acclimatized and accustomed to that. Perhaps that helped with their amazing performances. Miho Nanaka, who has now taken the overall lead, she took a horrible fall, smacking her head on one of the volumes. I don't know about you guys, but I've been in those situations, you know, when you're like pressing down on a volume and you suddenly look down and you're like, ooh, there's a hole down there. I don't want to hit that. Well, she hit that. Luckily, she recovered absolutely fine, but a bit of a scary moment for everybody watching. Amazing to see Alex Puccio back on form. She had a horrible knee injury and then a terrible neck injury. I think she fractured her neck in recent years. So she's been climbing at a high level outdoors, but hasn't quite come back into the competition scene. So just so cool to watch her come back and out of nowhere just beat everybody. So that's amazing, and of course Alex Puccio is a bit of a show favourite, so nice one, Alex. Jernej Kruder is still winning the men's competition, just. Tomoa Narasaki is right behind him, so with only, I think, oh god, how many events? There's 1 event left, I think? There's a break anyway until the next one, but it's going to be interesting to see whether he can hold on. I know Jernej, I know how psyched he will be, and I also know how ridiculously crazy the after party would be if he wins the World Cup. So for that alone, I kind of want to see it happen. So moving on to other news, and I saw on Planet Mountain that Sean Villanueva Odrisco has done the 2nd ascent of a climb that requires a giant wooden hammer to protect it. Sean Villanueva is a climber who never backs down from a challenge, however odd it might be, and this trad climb in the Frankenjura in Germany is certainly odd. The climb is graded 9/7C, and the crack starts in a cave before the climber ascends into the light. The off-width section of the climb is protected with the use of a wooden hammer, usually used to open beer casks, and is the main protection for that section of the route. So we've included a tiny bit of the video in this show, but if you want to watch the full video, and you really must, the link is in the description below. Now, 8-year-old Edward Mills has become the youngest person to ever climb the Old Man of Hoy, which is off the Orkney Islands in Scotland, and he did it all for charity. He was raising money for the charity Climbers Against Cancer after his mum, Becky, was diagnosed with terminal breast cancer. The Old Man of Hoy is 137 metres high and formed of red sandstone. It's an iconic climb and made harder by the unpredictable weather in that area. Edward, who is part of the Scottish youth climbing team, climbed every move on the route and left a message at the top saying, "Mum's gift to climbers against cancer." Awesome, awesome job, Edward. I'm so glad you got the weather break you needed, and it was so cool looking at those pictures. If you guys want to give some money towards this very good cause, there's a Just Giving page, and I've included the link in the description below. 9B counter time. Frankly, it's been disappointingly quiet this week. This is what I think. I reckon the lead World Cup season is going to kick off. All the athletes are going to compete in that. They're going to get super psyched. They're going to win gold medals, and then they're going to climb 9Bs. You heard it here first. So let's move on to some videos on our website, and we talk about Cold House Media all the time, and mainly because we're kind of jealous of what they do. They travel the world climbing, they visit all these undiscovered climbing places and locations, and they generally have a really good time. They've just released an update video on their climbing trips in the Americas, so here's a little teaser of that. If you want to follow along with Cold House Media adventures, make sure you subscribe to their EpicTV channel or their YouTube page, and you can follow their travels. Now, I've got to shout out our handpicked from the web section of our website. There's a guy right there called Dave. Dave scours the internet finding the best climbing videos, so you don't have to, basically. So everything we think is cool is in one place on this section of the website. So at the moment there's Alex Honnold, there's Nully Hooker-Tyvel, there's Edu Marin and his massive cave thing, problem sport climbing route. It's a place to go, you know, when you're like after the pub and you're sitting with your mates and you've had a few beers and you've got one last one before bed and you just want to watch a climbing movie. This is the place to go to check out the climbing films. So make sure you look at that bit on our website. Right, let's talk about some shop deals. On Sunday, it's Father's Day. I was not aware of this until yesterday and I've had to panic. So if, like me, you're panicking and you've run out of ideas, we're doing a special discount code of 10% off certain products. And those products we put in a collection page, which is probably on screen right now while I'm talking. And there's a link in the description below as well. You just enter the code PAPA10 at the checkout and you get 10% off those certain products. So if your dad's a climber or you just want to get something for your dad who will then hate it and then give it to you, then this is a great place to start. That's kind of it for today's news show. This weekend we're heading off to Germany for the Outdoor Trade Show, which is this giant event where all the outdoor brands get together in a big hall and they demonstrate the products that are coming out in the next year. I know for a fact that Black Diamond are bringing out some really tasty stuff. Scarpa have got new shoes. I think La Sportiva have got new shoes. So we'll be there doing some filming and doing some deals, and I'll be putting loads on our social media. So check out Instagram, might be some stuff on Facebook. Anything basically that I find that makes me go a bit shaky, I'm going to be putting on our social media, so you can check that out. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.